that people don't really realize what it takes to win. That people don't really realize.
You know, I wanted to introduce it. I'm sorry. Look, I got it coming out of my speaker, and it's all kind of weird stuff going on. How you guys doing? Just doing this quick segment. Well, quick thought on this. This is an old clip, but I seen it again, and I wanted to give my input to it. So let's listen to, I always told myself that I can't even support Will Smith to how he did Chris Rock, but I tell you, one of the most crazy things about the last couple of years was to see the culture of our world, not just black culture, but the culture of America, the culture of men and women. And I'll say more about it after we get through kind of talking about this. So let me play it, and then I'll give my commentary on it, okay?
That people don't really realize what it takes to win. That people don't really realize what it takes to win, right? And it's like there's a great quote. Don Simpson, who was one of the original producers of the first Bad Boys, and we saw a screening. It was really good, and he said, I said, man, it's good. It's at about 90%, And he said the great thing about being at 90% is at least you're halfway there.
Right? It's crazy.
And I was like, and that has turned out to be so true. The difference between 90% and 100% is lifetimes of difference. The difference between a good player and a great player is light years. It's like, my son was a chronic B student. And he would get B's all the time. And he was like, Dad, it's just, I really could get A's, if I wanted to. And I was like, nigga, I promise you can't.
Believe in yourself.
I promise you can't. You think that the difference between a B and an A is the same as the difference between a C and a B. Nigga, it's not. It's not. Right? It's like you might have to eat differently. Like you might have to change friends. You might have to study sleep, to get from B's to A's. It's like the difference between good and great, it is underestimated by most humans. It's like if you want to be good, you can be talented and be good. You can wake up and be good. But if you good and you just wake up and be good, you're not gonna beat me. You're never gonna beat me if you're not doing, 70-hour weeks on your craft, right? And it's like, that is such a hard thing to communicate to people. And it's even more difficult when people are talented. When people get a B easy.
They think they got it.
They think they got it, And it's like, I'm telling you, it's like, it's not easy, but it is really simple to change your life. It's so simple, right? People don't realize that one bad night fucks up 10. You can't get drunk and fucking not work out on Saturday. You mess up 10 days. Like somebody else is getting past you. In that time, it's like the level of sharpness and discipline that it takes to get to the heights that you dream of is really simple. It's just not easy.
Yeah, and that's real stuff. And the reason, and I'm going to go back to it again and stuff, he talked about Don Simpson. Don Simpson is the reason why we love movies, like modern movies. He's The Rock. You get what I'm saying? With Sean Connery and I think it was Nicolas Cage and stuff like that. The Bad Boys, Oh, he did some of the coolest movie. Enemy of the State. Don Simpson was the dude. The dude. Okay, like he was the blood and the fuel in Jerry Bruckheimer. He was the blood and the fuel of Michael Bay. He was really that dude. Okay, so to explain, like, I'm a filmmaker, and to explain like the mindset of Will Smith, first I gotta kind of almost do a quick disclaimer to his smacking of Chris Rock, and it's unforgivable. That's a no. It crosses so many lines. Hold on a second. I want to make sure that I'm speaking here. I think I am. I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. It crosses so many lines, it ain't no joke. Okay? It's unforgivable. I told myself I will never watch another Will Smith movie or contribute to him again. But then I looked at how vicious and full of crap the world is. I'm gonna not cuss, you know what I mean? He said a lot of cuss words in this, but I'm gonna not cuss. How full of crap this world is. I see how a lot of the culture of society was like a lot of men. I would even say that a lot of men for the last 30, 40 years, they're savages, they're dominant, they're aggressive, but they took on the new culture, new civilization, the new Homo sapien evolutional thought process of being a little bit more gentle, being a little bit more forgiving, being a little bit more kind and passive, to the feminist thought process, the movings and around and competitiveness of women and everything like that. Men have to subdue themselves, and other men threaten other men to subdue themselves. So you got dominant men like Will Smith and a lot of drivers, a lot of people that's kind of get things done great, like a lot of these basketball players, movie stars, even people look at how passive Will Smith is to Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm telling you, I don't know the dark corners of their life, but I bet you he's got some kind of connection with her where he decided that he's like, it's like a sacrificial love for him. And I think he's barbaric with everybody else. I think he like a dominant, dogmatic person with everybody else. I think she got like 1 in a million like personality from him. If you look at his confrontation with the mother from Fresh Prince and a lot of other stuff, if you know the industry, if you got ears to the ground, he's a dominant, dogmatic, very tough, ambitious driver kind of guy. So when you look at what he did with Chris Rock, is almost like a national or like a very gladiator type of thing. You know what I mean? You know, are you not entertained? I think that's what it was. It so happened to be that the barbaricness of it is off-putting for us, but men that are off-putting to it, we got to check ourselves, because we may be a little bit more weak and docile than we thought we were. And that ain't, if we look at our lives, it didn't give us any value, and it didn't play a good value in a lot of decisions and the paths of the things that was going on in our life. So even for me, when I told myself when I come into 2025, I started on December 30th. I changed. I had an enigma. Epiphany. And I told myself, under no circumstances will I do anything like I did it in 2024. And I did for 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 22, 23, and 24. I was aggressive. And I think I was weak in that. And I got to step it up. I got to get the outcomes that I want by taking it viciously if I have to. And I just didn't think the world was like that. I just really I never really wanted to be around where I had to even take that in, I guess, psychologically. But now I understand that you'll get slaughtered if you don't. You'll be the sheep. You know what I mean? You will be the sheep. You will be stamped and certified as the sheep amongst the wolves. You know what I'm saying? And they hungry as hell. So what you gonna do? And I wasn't expecting it to be like that, but I got into it and I see it, and I'm telling you preemptively things I put into place just in case that was the scenario. And so happened to be, I guess I'm turning out to be a wolf. So when you hear him say that, the distance between good and great is underestimated. You guys got to take that in, what he said. It is underestimated by most people, and it is. It is. You guys allow podcasters and social influencers and the elite motivational speakers and all that stuff, like, sell you something that's for free. You know what I mean? It's for free. Like, oh, maybe if you say, hey, I'm purchasing this class or this seminar or this teaching or this network because it's convenient and it's already packaged. That's okay. We do that with meat, chicken, beef, potato chips. We do it with everything. We go to the store, we purchase things as a consumer base, and as a highly evolved nation America is, we like things ready to go. So I totally understand that. If that's what you're saying, you got it well coordinated in your head while you packaging the sound bites and the philosophical views from a social media or influencer or a podcaster or something like that. But I want you to acknowledge that every single inch of what a social influencer, a podcaster, a motivational speaker, a seminar, a module purchase, that it is for free. The knowledge that you're getting is for free. So when you guys are kind of taking your money and being spoiled and getting all the little packaging on the podcasters, on the Patreons and all that stuff, make sure that the people that's struggling, that just don't have the answers and they want the same outcomes that you guys want, let them know it's free. Scour day and night YouTube and the internet, and you're gonna find the philosophical, the stuff that you need is there. It's blatant. It's out there. It's gonna run into you, smack you in the face in a 24-hour period. So don't let your grandiosis stop people that are really struggling and really having a hard time, that really can't see a change in their life and they don't know where to start. Individual perspective. That's why I wanted to come out with my podcast, Individual Perspective Podcast, is you are the answers to you. You are the answers to you. And sometimes it takes you to develop an individual perspective in order to understand how much you are your answers that you're looking for. And an individual perspective means that you don't show any loyalty to anyone outside yourself. No loyalty. You vet everything. You vet everything your mama say, your daddy say, your siblings say, your community say, your culture says, your favorite movie star, your favorite politician, your favorite musician, your favorite author, your favorite philosophical speaker, motivational speaker. You vet everybody. So once it takes hold in your head, in your heart, and you communicate it, it is just, it is solid, and it's objectivity, and it's true. And that's when you have an individual perspective. when your truth is the objective truth. Okay? So when he says that, when he says like the distance between good and great, that is a lot. Look, trust me, he's talking about like, okay, he's Will Smith, okay? Okay, a good actor would be an equivalent of him is Michael B. Jordan. What's the gentleman? Major. Idris Elba. The gentleman that plays Ghost on Power. These are good actors, really, really good. They do their work. They're aggressive. You get what I'm saying? Jordan Peele and the gentleman that plays with him a lot. I can't remember his name. Forgive me. It's a lot of really, really good people. Then there's great. Tom Cruise, Leonardo DiCaprio, Will Smith. You get what I'm saying? The Rock, and it's like you got great, okay? And it's not that they're great actors; it's they got great dominance in taking advantage of the craft and the time and the arts. So that's what that is. And to be like him, he says, like, you gotta work. You can't beat him just being good. You gotta be great to beat him, or at least striving to be great. And that's the only way you can even be in the same room, because while you sleeping, he's moving. He's making another win. He's doing something else to capitalize on what how he already moving. You get what I'm saying? So that's what he means, you know. And for me, I don't really do a lot of sleeping. I'm going about 18, 20 hours a day most of the time. I take a nap or something, like maybe like an hour or two or something, and then I wake up about sometimes like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I start again all the way to midnight, 12 o'clock, stuff like that. It's aggressive. I'm like that consistently every single day. So my point of it is to say, like, he's telling you, and you got to pay attention to that. I'm gonna play it again, but he's telling you to be great. If that's your arrogance, oh, I'm gonna be great. That means you beat everybody and everything, or at least you're the dominant of your world. And I'm telling you, in order to be that way, you have to be an extreme driver. What I mean by driver is the most productive person around you. If you ever been around a driver, some people are passive. Some people are like kind of going along with the flow. You get what I'm saying? Some people are pretty much good advocators, and some people are kind of like, they actually make way for the driver to actually hit his points, hit his markers. So they're pretty much the thinkers, the motivators, you know what I mean? The thinkers, they're driving the moment to actually, for the driver to execute on. So that's how some of it is. I know I'm kind of throwing out a lot of stuff, but it's like you always hear about drivers, you always hear about motivators, you always hear about passive people, and you hear about people that just kind of get along with it. Just they get along to get along. You know what I mean? So in that thought process, that's what you got to see how he is, how he's moving. It's literally, he's a driver. He's not really listening to a lot of people. He's driving what they do. If any criticism comes, it's private. He calculates it, and then when he leaves out his house, he's driving. He's actually executing on things. The passiveness is in his house. You get what I'm saying? He doesn't want to fight on a 24-hour basis. He don't want to fight outside the house and inside the house. So some things he kind of gives to, and I think that's what that is. So, but he's a driver, and you could compare this, you could kind of put this method of mindset that I'm telling you to most people. Most people and most really, really accomplished people, and probably your general manager, you know what I'm saying? Like the manager of your store or your building or your factory or the company, whatever. You're gonna see how ambitious they are and how aggressive they are and how they carry themselves playing the angles. You get what I'm saying? So, in the mindset of great to great, the distance between good and great is something that we all need to kind of understand, that we have decided to not be great, to not even have the ambition to be enough to try to achieve greatness. And you're just good. That's okay to be good. It's great success and just being good. And I don't mean you sit back. That mean you're aggressive too. You're on your stuff too. But greatness is, man, it doesn't compromise. It doesn't. And I'm telling you this. Even in doing I'm a filmmaker, and the things that I had to problem solve and get to the finish line and take something and create nothing. And at the same time, when you got everybody working against you because they want to weaken you so they can point their fingers and everything, and you got to overcome that. And you got to overcome that with the tension of situations to destroy everything. So I'll do something drastic to throw people off, so they forget that they're there to hurt what I'm doing. And by the time they catch up with themselves and notice that they gave me too much room to success, too much leverage to success, they did one more thing for me than they should have did. And by the time they notice it, it's too late. It's a wrap. I got it. You get what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say that I'm great, but I'm fighting like hell to be good. And then if I get to great, I'll let you know. Okay? So let's play that clip again, and then I'm gonna end this real quick.
What it takes to win. That people don't really realize what it takes to win, right? And it's like there's a great quote. Don Simpson, who was one of the original producers of the first Bad Boys, and we saw a screening. It was really good, and he said, I said, man, it's good. It's at about 90%. And he said, the great thing about being at 90% is at least you're halfway there.
Right? It's crazy.
And I was like, and that has turned out to be so true. The difference between 90% and 100% is lifetimes of difference. The difference between a good player and a great player is light years. It's like, my son was a chronic B student, and he would get B's all the time. And he was like, Dad, it's just, I really could get A's, if I wanted to. And I was like, nigga, I promise you can't.
Believe in yourself.
I promise you can't. You think that the difference between a B and an A is the same as the difference between a C and a B. Nigga, it's not. It's not. Right? It's like you might have to eat differently. Like you might have to change friends. You might have to.
Yeah, and that's important for him to say this. I'm gonna try to knock this out. I did not want it to go like this more than 10 minutes really, but I had to structure it and everything. But that is the difference and stuff. Even for me, they kept doing the same stuff, and no matter what I would communicate and I would put mindset in the people I was working with, I'm like, look, you guys got to understand, we're in our 30s and our 40s and our 50s. In order for us to achieve the modern day 25-year-old, the modern day 30-year-old, you guys, we gotta be so aggressive, so relentless, and we gotta be unmerciful to the sacrifice. meaning that we're willing to take some unimaginable risk. And everybody was telling me about their kids and their family and all this stuff, and I totally understand that, but it's all depends on what the outcome you want. All depends. You can't say I want to spend $2,000 on a movie and I want the response from that movie or the outcome of that movie to be like millions of dollars, where I get 100,000, you get a couple 100,000, you get a couple 100,000, you get 100,000. If you're gonna have that kind of outcome, we gotta do some relentless sacrifice, and we gotta do great moments, taking advantage of the moment that we're in and doing great work and with passion and love and total risk to it. If you want that kind of outcome, you get what I'm saying? And no matter how much I said this, for 6 years, they just didn't get it. They didn't get it. They always had one foot in, one foot out, a risk analysis, and been risk averse, and it was stop them from being aggressive right when we needed to just isolate ourselves and go into the zone. They wouldn't do it. Because, and it's like, I'm not gonna give you guys kind of power over creative process to the films and when to cut and what to cut, because you're not even here to create it and understand the risk of what it took to get that shot, to get that continuity, to get that angle, to get that communication of the dialogue, to get every page in the script, and stop trying to improvise on the set. You know what I mean? You really, really don't understand what it takes to be like 90 to 100. And I'm telling people, like, hey man, multi-million-dollar companies, billion-dollar studios are taking 2 to 3 years for each project. You know, like a 30 like to do the script, to cast, to find the locations, to do rehearsals, and go out and do the production and do the editing. It's taking them 2 to 3 years for every movie that you guys see. Because you don't know about the process that it took to put it together, don't mean it's not doing it. Now, independently, we think we're so better than Warner Brothers and Paramount and Disney and Lionsgate. We think in Netflix, we think we're so better than them that we're deciding to just knock out a movie in 3 months and think that it's actually fruitful for decades to come. Sad, really sad. So in the understanding of that, I had to say, okay, I got to safeguard the quality control of this. I got to safeguard the end result. I got to safeguard the vision, because you guys don't care about it. You think you just throwing spaghetti at the wall. I had a person telling me, oh, just throw it on YouTube. Just throw it on YouTube and it'll give you some money back and everything. And then you could take that money and go do bigger and greater projects. I don't shoot my films as if they're not great what I'm doing. Whatever limitations that I have on the set and doing even my independent films, they're limitations, but I'm gonna try to overcome those limitations in the edit or in the different multi-layer stuff that I shot to clean up the inexpensiveness of it all. And I know what I did to make sure that it plays cinematically in real life. Why? Because I don't care what we shooting it for. If I'm rolling that camera, I'm rolling it like I'm shooting a high-end film the best way I can. And that's what I did. And that's why when I'm looking at movies, I shot like multiple. I think I shot about 10 movies over the last 6 years. And as I look at them and I look at what I'm able to do with them in the editing room to clean them up and tighten it up and make them modern and make the sound beautiful and the visuals, I'll say this and I'll wrap this up. The future proof that I did with the filming actually allows for the files that I have, the original source files. They are so good that they already got the metadata, they already got the Kodak, they already got the color space of HDR, Dolby Vision, IMAX cameras, all that stuff for cinema theaters. Now, I would have had to be preemptive about quality while I was rolling the camera, while I was picking the camera. And that's what I did. So I was just wanted to kind of play this because I thought it was a great mindset to kind of put into your head. So let him finish his dialogue, and then I'll end this, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Study sleep, to get from B's to A's. It's like the difference between good and great, it is underestimated by most humans. It's like, if you want to be good, you can be talented and be good. You can wake up and be good. But if you good and you just wake up and be good, you're not gonna beat me. You're never gonna beat me if you're not if you're not doing 70-hour weeks on your craft, right? And it's like, that is such a hard thing to communicate to people, and it's even more difficult when people are talented. When people get a B easy.
They think they got it.
They think they got it, and it's like, I'm telling you, it's like, it's not easy, but it is really simple to change your life. It's so simple, right? People don't realize that one bad night fucks up 10. You can't get drunk.
Yeah, and that's important too. Yeah, I went past 30 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. I had to cut this up. Like for me, I love doing a good Stella or Heineken or something like that, or a good glass of McKellen. You know what I mean? That's my drinks. You get what I'm saying? So I love to do it, but I don't do it, and it takes me weeks or months to have a drink or a beer. You know what I mean? Because I like to jump up in the morning and go. I like to jump up about 3-4 o'clock in the morning and go. And literally take 30 minutes, drink some water, adjust myself, and get right into the studio and just do work. Just work. And if I do a beer, I'm a little sluggish. You know what I mean? I'm a little sluggish at night or in the morning if I do beer. Just one beer, literally one beer. I can't even do one beer now, because it'll throw me too far off. If I do a glass of McKellen, I'll obviously do another glass, and I'll waste literally a $30 to $40 shot. That's how expensive McKellen is. So and it slows me down where I can't jump right up like I want to in the morning. So I don't do it. I'll wait months before I do a drink. I'm a big water person. I like juice or something like that, orange juice or something like that. That's about most that I put in my body for months, because I like to jump up and go. You get what I'm saying? So he's right about that, and that's real stuff. It slow you down.
And fucking not work out on Saturday. You can't, you mess up 10 days.
And you will mess up multiple. Like he's extravagant on it about 10 days, but you could mess up about a day or two. Because you wouldn't be able to get up like you need to the next day and do what you normally do and put your productivity, but you'll kind of take it easy on the second day. You may do some work, but you'll take it a little bit easy. And then that's 2 days that you lost right there. Because now the following day, can you get up and go? So I think you're losing about 2 days, not 10 days. You shouldn't drink at all because there's something wrong with your physicality if you're not motivated within a 24-hour to 48-hour time span. So
like somebody else is getting past you in that time. It's like the level of sharpness and discipline that it takes to get to the heights that you dream of is really simple. It's just not easy.
Yeah, and it's not easy. You gotta have discipline. You really do. You really, really, really gotta have discipline. Really. And the reason why I'm talking to you guys about this and I'm letting this play out is because that mindset is the difference between achieving your goals and not achieving your goals, and in allowing yourself not to change too. You get what I'm saying? So if you don't allow yourself to change, you're gonna kind of not have the accomplishments that you want. And for me, I really fight for change. I want to improve. I want to get better. I want to be aggressive on the things that I do. So this is the hard truth, and we kind of evolved Will Smith's perception of the distance between good and great, and 90 to 100, and so on and so on. I'm sorry I took you guys to 35 minutes. I guess it's a smaller episode though, so it's okay. But I just wanted to kind of get you guys in, because it's all about mindsetting. For me, it's always about mindsetting. 2025 is like, we gotta do better. We gotta do more. We gotta check ourselves and everybody. And if they can't kind of be on the same mindset that you are, they better be doing something or offering something better. If they're not offering something and doing something better, then you gotta part ways. And that's what I found out, and it sucks, but that's just the way it is. And it's like, it's about, like, I would never not take care of the people that I know exist in some path in my life that kind of help me in some way get to where I'm going, or they just at least, was around, or they play some kind of factor, or even I used them, you get what I'm saying, to get to where I needed to go to. I'm always going to be respectful to that. But will they do that for me? Absolutely not. How the things that they done through the process let me know that. Like, oh no, y'all vicious, y'all poison, y'all destructive. We'll start something, and then they'll start throwing monkey wrenches and crazy stuff into the scenario, into the situation that will actually hurt the outcome. And I'll say, hey man, we can't be like that. We got to think, we got to move like this. You can't fail in your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s, and then decide that you can start it back up in your 50s. No, you gotta, this is the moment you're living in right now. Give it all you got. But everybody want to go on vacation. They want to have a good Christmas. They want to go out and eat in restaurants, and they want to do stuff. And right now, you could go do that for the rest of your life, from 99% of your life. Ain't nobody gonna stop you. But right now, we got to give everything we got to this. If it takes 10 years of our life, it's better to live 10 to 20 years where you ain't worrying about nothing. You sitting back in this cushion. But they wasn't willing to do that. They was willing to try to manipulate something that they didn't work for, achievement that they didn't achieve. You know what I mean? So it sucks, but for me, I'm securing it for everybody. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it all. I'll carry it on my back. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. So I didn't mean to go through all that. I just thought that was just a brutal mindset in the scheme of things, and I think everybody think that that's not coming to their household, and it is. It's in a lot of it's the valuation of your relationships. It's why women kind of give up on the men that they're around and stuff. He ain't leveled up enough and all that other stuff like that. But you like, look, if you know who he is, and he just not doing nothing, you know what I'm saying? Don't be stupid. Because because once it nails, there's no looking back. It's a new life. It's a new forward. Everything is happening. You know what I mean? So this is Individual Perspective Podcast. My name is Daris D. McKinney, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.